Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention, education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benscop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right. Hey, good evening. My name is Mark Benscop. Let's start right off on the top as to what's happening in Guyana. We thank you so much for sharing the link, and we must apologize for being off air for a couple of days. And I know a lot of you have been looking forward to having us in your homes at this time with our program. Let's start right off. It says here, breaking news. I don't know why this is even breaking news, because we already know the sort of news and the folks that Irfan Ali goes around meeting, and pretending as though this is a one Guyana, that this is a unity thing, when in fact that it's not. The racist tendency of this individual is becoming more and more blatant. And we will get into that in this portion of the program. We are just going to be on for about a half hour. So spread the word, share the link, and let folks know that we are on. This is a live program. It's 22 minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So these folks are speedboat operators. And just a little background in this story: the speedboat operators in Guyana across the Demerara River from Stabroek, at the back of Stabroek Market, to the other Stelling across Reed and Hoop, sorry. They wanted to raise the fare to by $20. And so there was a situation there. $20, boat operators from $100 to $120. And for those of you who don't know, $100 Guyana dollars is just about 40 cents or 50 cents, or 2 quarters US, 2 quarters to cross the river from Stabroek, behind Stabroek Market, to Reed and Hoop Stelling. So these operators, these boat operators, decided that they are going to kick up, as we say in Guyana. They're going to cry up. They're going to say, look, they need more money. And less than 48 hours after they said they needed more money, they're going to raise the fare. Air Finale jumped out of a big ship. He decided to go meet the small boat operators. And so this is why this photograph is here. He met with them, he hung up, he kissed up, and they basically said, look, and trust me, he has promised them something. He promised them concessions. There's no way that he is going to meet with them and not promise them anything. So these guys may very well say, look, they need some sort of duty-free concession. And so while you guys may think that there was nothing from this deal, there was something. Air Finale has to say exactly what he promised these individuals privately. Now, all 5 of them there got something out of this hug. Not just a hug, not just a little hand squeeze or whatever else squeezed. They got more out of this deal than the $20. And this is what Air Finale and the PPP do not want you to hear. Sorry about that. Yeah. This is what they do not want you to know or to hear. Again, let us do the math here. He met with these boat operators. Sorry, as I drink some water. As he met with these boat operators, we are going to do the math. Do you actually believe that he walked, or he took a big boat, and you know what I mean by that, over and met with these guys, and they decided that not ask for anything else? They were told, and I can put my head on the block for this. Sorry. They were told that they can bring a boat in, they can build boat materials, they can bring engine, all manner of things they could bring in, and they will be given duty-free concessions. So they walked away with something from this. While we are thinking that Air Finale walked in there and decided to stop this whole thing. There's no $20 increase. There's not a $20 increase, but you, the taxpayers, we, the taxpayers, will be giving these boat operators something else that Air Finale doesn't want to tell you guys. Understand the politics, understand the hustle game. And that is all Air Fin and his crew know about. Hustle. How do they hustle the Guyanese people? That is what they're about. Hi, good evening. My name is Mark Benchap, and welcome to Straight Up. We're going to be on just for about a half hour. Don't get too excited, but you get to see my face again. We'll block it out again. Let's get back to this here now. So do not get too excited about this whole thing. We see there's a pattern. This guy, Air Finale, there's a pattern that whenever he goes into a particular community, and this, mind you, it's pretty obvious. He goes into see our Indian brothers and sisters. He treats them more like they are human beings than he would treat persons of African descent. It is a fact. And the more that we expose Air Finale and these guys, the more they become concerned, because their backs are against the wall right now. They know they're being exposed. In fact, just today, the mayor of Georgetown even came right out. The mayor of Georgetown, mind you, said, and I had to stop for a moment to listen. the mayor of Georgetown said that he believes, or he's wondering, and this, mind you, it is not Mark Benchop is saying this. This is the mayor of Georgetown has said this today, that he's wondering why Irfan Ali doesn't want to meet with him. Why Irfan Ali doesn't want to sit with him. Is it because he is a Hindu? Now, I'm not saying that, but that caught me by surprise because I've heard these sort of things before, that Irfan Ali, who sits there as the puppet president of Guyana, lean more towards his Muslim brothers and sisters. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but that is what the perception is out there. And Irfan Ali has got to be mindful of that. And so for the mayor of Georgetown, the democratically elected mayor of Georgetown, to come out and say that he is of the view where he's asking the question whether it's because he's a Hindu that Irfan Ali doesn't want to meet. Irfan Ali, said to be a Muslim, doesn't want to meet with him. Now, I don't know whether that's accurate or not, but it is dangerous if true. If Irfan Ali is discriminating against people, one, because of their ethnicity, and two, because of their religion. The mayor has asked that question. I've heard other folks who are Hindus have asked that question. Now, not Mark Benchop asking, and it's something I hope that Irfan Ali would address, not the private sector commission, not those goons in the private sector commission to take umbrage to that. Because whatever they're to take umbrage to, they don't. They sit there, and if somebody sneezes next to Irfan Ali, they take umbrage to it, and they want to wipe the sneeze, they want to wipe everything. So whatever Irfan Ali does, and I want you guys to read between the lines, whatever Irfan Ali does, members of the private sector commission wipes up. They're always sitting there to wipe up after him, because that is what they're there for. They are nothing but a bunch of lapclots. Whatever the PPP does, they would echo, because they're just an extension of the PPP. They're not a real private sector commission. And why am I talking about the private sector commission now? Because the mayor said something, and it is a lot of things that he said is accurate, because we saw that the PPP regime through the central government decided they're going to remove vendors from off the streets. Now, I am not saying that people could just go and put up something and vend anywhere. There must be order. And don't get me wrong, there must be order in doing these sort of things. It cannot be a wild playing field for all. But if you're going to remove somebody, you've got to have somewhere to put them. Those people have been there for years. Why would you want to bulldoze them? Why would you want to kick them off from their business place and so forth? In fact, somebody said in a meeting not so long ago, and maybe that explains why I'm late for the show tonight, was that a lot of these so-called private sector commission businessmen were once flat-foot hustlers. Some of them are still, yeah. They were vendors before. Fortunately for some of them, they blew up overnight. They became filthy rich. God, heaven knows how, but they became filthy rich, right? And so today now, the PPP regime, it is not something that we totally expected from them. This is what they do. They are brutal. They are vindictive. They are cold-blooded. And so for them to move in to kick those vendors off, it was not totally unexpected of the PPP. And I agree with the mayor of Georgetown. That apart from the perception that Irfan Ali is using the religion card, not just the race card, 2 R's, right? Religion and race. He seems to be pondering, and again, that is the perception, mind you. It's a reality that the members of the private sector commission want to just cover up so that they can continue to get their duty-free concessions and all sort of concessions they get, like blood suckers on the backs of taxpayers, hardworking taxpayers of Guyana. And so the mayor of Georgetown is on to something. He did say he acknowledged that there is racism and that Irfan Ali and the PPP have a racist agenda and racist policy directed towards our African brothers and sisters in Guyana. And like I've said earlier, interestingly, the mayor of Georgetown has alluded to this religious aspect of Irfan Ali's agenda. We are told that a lot of, you look around, those who are getting the contracts, those who are supposedly powerful, and all these different things. Look at them. Look at what their last names are, either Mohammed and all these sort of things. And mind you, Irfan Ali's first name is actually Muhammad. I don't know why he doesn't use Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Irfan Ali. And so they get vexed. The private sector got vexed because the mayor of Georgetown actually said something what lots of people have been saying quietly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. By the way, the mayor is a pandit. I have seen Irfan Ali via photographs walked into mandirs and so forth, and you can tell that he was uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. So now let's go back to this photograph. He meets with these folks. He settles something, and he promised them a bunch of things behind the scene. Then he met with these folks here too now, right? And they hug up and they kiss up and they hold up his belly. And one lady in this photograph, I heard they all want to take photograph with these persons. Well, Irfan Ali, sorry, I look at his stomach and I said these persons. So, my apologies. I must apologize for that. They're not persons. It's just one individual, and that's Irfan Ali. And so one of the ladies said that, look, come, take the picture. I draw. And those of you who are from the countryside, you know what I draw. Means, come on, take a picture. I draw. And so when he goes into the community and meet with our Indian brothers and sisters, nothing is wrong with that, mind you, right? But look how he behaves. So civilized, and so calm and so forth. But when he walks in the community, into African Guyanese community, he's very condescending, very disrespectful. He walks through, it's like he does a quick drive-by. And, like you're passing in a particular area and you get a little extra thing and you throw little crumbs, give the animals and so forth. That's how he treats persons in the African Guyanese community. It is a fact. We're seeing the evidence every single day. We're seeing the evidence of this here. Now, there's another thing that I want to touch on. But before I touch on that, and if you guys think I'm kidding, take a look at when he walked into Buxton area. So take a quick look, and I'll be right back.
Mr. Watts, he is armed himself shots. Watch your tear gas. Light rounds. Also, I can see that.
But since my cousin there, no, you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? No, you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to
you. Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up to talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If we didn't do a protest, you want to see nobody for justice. You see? I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice for my family. I get visitors all of a sudden. All of a sudden, you all get visitors. This is Joker.
So that's exactly how he operates whenever he is in predominantly African Guyanese communities. That's how he behaves. When you compare this to how they rush out, they met with some vendors also in a predominantly Indian community. I know Pastor Sugrim is watching. Pastor Sugrim understands exactly what's played out. And so Pastor Sugrim is one of them. He's a PNCR counselor out there at Cariveton or Skeldon, and he sees this sort of racism and imbalance in terms of the agenda and policies of the installed PPP regime. And so when we say this is how he goes out, Irfan Ali, and he treats persons of East Indian descent, totally different than how he treats persons of African descent. I can just imagine how these guys in the administration treat our indigenous brothers and sisters as well. And so there is another thing that I want to talk about. How many of you guys, before we get to this Tanti Merle issue here, before we get to Tanti Merle speaking, a question I want to ask you guys. How many of you guys saw Auntie that got a new house? Auntie that got a new house. I don't have the photograph of Auntie and her new house, but I saw a couple of weeks ago, Irfan Ali was visiting an area and Auntie was sitting in front of her landing, as we would say, and Irfan went up and he turned to somebody else and said, hey, fix this house. Now, don't think it was a fix because it was actually from his heart. It could possibly have something slight to do with his heart, but it's not something full out from his heart. There's an agenda. There's a reason why. And so after the guys went in and they built this plastic house for Auntie, you want me to tell you guys the truth behind this whole agenda of fixing Auntie's house? Now, the reason Auntie's house was fixed is for a bigger picture. There is a fix, mind you. Auntie is comfortable, and I'm glad she has a new house, mind you. Again, don't get me wrong. Lots of aunties around the country should get a new house just like that as well. Not just one auntie. Auntie Daphne from Anns Grove, Auntie Betty, Auntie from Linden and Coquitlam. You know, you get where I'm coming from, right? Not just one auntie. If you're spending taxpayers' monies, then spend it equally across the board. Go to Alness and fix an auntie house too. Go to Manchester and fix an auntie house too. Go to Philippi. Go to Evesham. Go to Epsom. Go somewhere out there in Linden, Bartica somewhere and fix another auntie house. But, sorry, you guys already got the message. Now let's talk about that auntie that got her house fixed. Again, I am glad that she has gotten her house fixed. She's going to enjoy her Christmas, and I'm happy about that. Honestly, I'm happy, even though I believe that the situation was used for a bigger picture. And poor auntie was used, and she didn't even realize that she was used, but she accepted the little blessings that she got. Compliments, not compliments of Irfan Ali, compliments of all of us, taxpayers, Guyanese taxpayers, because we pay taxes, and our tax dollars went to give auntie a new house, not Irfan Ali. Irfan Ali didn't take that out of his pocket. He didn't take it out of his pie. He didn't take it out of his bosom and build auntie's house. He took it out of our tax dollars. So auntie is living in that house as a result of our tax dollars, just to get that straight. But let's get this here straight. That sort of house that they're building right now, there's going to be a contract, $100 million, maybe $1 or $2 billion contract with the materials and so forth from the private sector, from a private businessman. And so Irfan Ali used that opportunity to promote that sort of building of houses, that sort of material and so forth. And so auntie was used Auntie's house was used as a stepping stone because while we think it was just a good gesture out of his heart or so forth, it's basically to promote his friends in the private sector. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about houses like those. You're going to hear about housing schemes. You're going to hear about bank loans. You're going to hear about the bank loans will be done through certain particular banks and in collaboration with the private sector. Just watch out for that news and you'll understand that what he did there for Auntie, there was a bigger picture, there was a personal picture, there was a money-making something, and that's exactly what it was. So again, don't run away and think that Irfan did any good for Auntie out of Irfan pockets. It's all of our monies that was used for that, and it was used just for Auntie in that particular area, and no other aunties, according to Irfan is worth anything else. That's how they operate. And we've got to be smarter than that. We've just got to be smarter. We cannot have them to basically think that they can outsmart us. They're just not doing that. Now let's get back to this guy, Tanti Moro. This the audacity of some people. This guy here now, he pompous around as a vice president. We don't respect him. We don't have no regards for him and his title. So we can just rubbish this here. I don't know why Village Voice gives this guy the time of the day. I honestly don't know why. Because these kunumunus, through the Guyana Chronicle, through the Mirror newspaper, through the Guyana Times, through the NCN, DPI, all these media entities they have, and they covet everything for themselves. They do not give space to any other person. It is only Village Voice and these other folks want to be balanced, want to be fair, and so forth. Don't give them the time of the day with these sort of news. But anyways, this is what this guy, Jack Day, was saying. They say here, Jack Day wants Indo-Guyanese contractors to sue those who highlight ethnic imbalance in awarding of contracts. There is, of course, sufficient evidence of the ethnic imbalance. Take, for example, Irfan Ali gives to his friends and Mohammed to build, a fire station for close to $1 billion, your tax dollars, $1 billion. All these things, the contracts are going to friends and cronies and a bunch of incompetent people. But yet this idiot of a man, well, sorry that I said the latter, but this idiotic individual says here he wants Indo-Guyanese contractors to sue. Let them sue. Let them sue. And Jagdeo should be the last person on the face of this earth to mention the word sue. And you know what I mean by that, right? The last person. Jagdeo, if you're watching, and maybe you are, let me remind you, since you mentioned sue.
Source. Okay, well, maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you. Or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jerome?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes. He is a friend of ours. His father was here.
Mr. Mark, I believe every word of what Mr. Shu is saying. I am also afraid of Mr. Shu. Mr. Shu, if you are listening, I don't want anybody to harm you. This is a serious thing. Corruption is big. And we Chinese have to stop that. Been bullied by Jack Dale and other government official to pay bribe.
How long have you been living at Jack Dale's house?
No, the people I don't know what them doing. I never do nothing there. You understand?
Yeah. So how long have you been living at Jack Dale's house?
Huh?
How long have you been living at Jack Dale's house?
Hello?
Yeah. How long have you been living at Jagdeo's house?
For 1 year now.
He's been living at Jagdeo's house for 1 year now. They want us to believe that Sue doesn't exist, that Sue is probably nowhere to be found. We don't know if Sue is probably smelling Daisy. We just don't know. But Jagdeo wanted an investigation, mind you. There is no investigation. Irfan Ali called for an investigation. There's no investigations, none whatsoever. But yet, this little rattlesnake has the audacity to come and say that he is urging, he wants Indo Guyanese contractors to sue those who highlight ethnic imbalance. What about those who highlight ethnic imbalance? Their perception should be addressed, it should be discussed. This is what real governments do. This is what real democracy is about. Not when there is an obvious imbalance, then you come and you make these idiotic statements urging Indo Guyanese contractors to sue. What are they going to sue? Who are they going to sue? The truth is already what it is, that a preponderance of the contracts, government contracts, go to Indo Guyanese. That is a fact. Occasionally, an African Guyanese gets a little drain cleaning contracts, like what Irfan Ali does. He walks through Albaistung and he sees the guys cleaning the drains, digging gutters, and so forth. He stops, he gives them a high five, he tell them good job. That is their perception of contracts for African Guyanese. And then uh, the other part of it, they throw little other crumbs to some other African Guyanese, one or two. They catch them who are part of the PPP regime, because you got to drink that blood before you get a contract, right? And so those guys out in Linden, they got a contract. Kashif and Shanghai, they got a contract to build a school, never build a latrine pit in their entire life, never build a chick board in their entire life, never build a bingo board or a bingo seat and chairs, but they're building a school, a big school for about $400 million over 1 year now. And where the school is, flat. I would have already built 10 schools already. Trust me, I'm a good builder. 10 schools already. But a bunch of individuals who know nothing about anything. Well, of course, the guys, some of these African Guyanese guys who get a contract, they're going to say, yeah, we black people getting something now, We never get all sort of jiggery pokery. They're coming with bare nonsense. So, Jagdeo, just flush this, take it and shove it, where, because this makes no sense. Jagdeo wants Indo Guyanese contractors to sue. They take away these folks, these PPP bagoos, taking away subventions of African Guyanese organizations, IPADG, you name it, all these other organizations. But you don't hear them taking away subventions from Indian Guyanese Indian organizations. You don't hear them doing that. It is always African organizations they go after, African people they go after. And then when they realize that their backs against the wall, then they rush into Buxton and they're going to give, we get basketball hoops. They give them a couple basketball hoops and that's it. You rush into Linden, you pretend as though you're building the sports complex, as though that is sufficient for job creation, right? That's the sort of job creation these vagabonds are talking about. And they're giving away the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to basically their friends and cronies. And this little idiot, this little rattlesnake Jagdeo is calling on Indo Guyanese contractors to sue. Let them sue. Speaking of sue, let them sue. He himself wants to sue. But he said he's going to sue, but we haven't heard anything thereafter. Jagdeo is a big bluff. Is a big bluff. Is a baby, probably wear diapers, and we're not even seeing the diapers as yet. But anyways, let's move on. We have far better things to talk about. And this is the Stabrook News, today's cartoon. If you recognize that woman You recognize that woman, you recognize the cartoon, you will understand exactly what Starbuck News has done here. This is I agree with this. I agree with Starbuck News 100%. On the phone, she's confused. Claudette Singh, and this is a beautiful picture of Claudette Singh, right? Claudette Singh is confused. On the line is Amna here, Amna here. You know, maybe by the end of the week, I want to see this woman resign. She's got to resign. She cannot sit there any longer. She's got to resign. So you guys got to call up her office. You guys got to write it. You guys, there has to be a petition for her to resign. She's got to resign. And let me see what I can whisper in your ears, right? I know that she said, and I haven't yet gone through her testimony. I want to go through that with you guys, right? But I will say this off the bat, that she said that she accidentally called a controversial police inspector by the name of Narayan. I am telling you guys that that is not true. That is not true. She never accidentally called Narayan. She requested, in fact, when she spoke with Narayan rushed down there to basically ensure that everything was okay. She did say that she was okay. She had a really good conversation with Narayan. She confided in me that, hey, Narayan is a good friend of hers, but mind you, Narayan is a controversial inspector. Narayan was in a magistrate's court. He was actually sent to prison, well, the bench or lockups for a couple of hours, and all manner of different things, right? And that's her friend. People are entitled to have their friends, but when they stand there and lie about situations, only God knows. Then the other thing is, Claudette Singh said that she was afraid, she was fearful for her life. I want to make this point clear. That yes, she was afraid. Yes, she was afraid that they were going to kill her. I repeat, Claudette Singh was afraid that they were going to kill her. Again, this is no joke. Claudette Singh was afraid that they were going to kill her. And guess what? She wasn't afraid that coalition supporters were going to kill her. She was afraid that PPP folks who are connected to the PPP, were going to kill her. She was afraid of that. And somebody who might be listening tonight, even if Claudette Singh isn't listening, I want Claudette Singh to know that I know who the individual is that she mentioned, who she believed wanted her dead. Claudette, remember, I have the evidence. I have the evidence. Just a matter of time, though. So, indeed, she was of the view that someone wanted to kill her, that they wanted to kill her, but it was the PPP folks. The PPP folks. She didn't come out in the Commission of Inquiry to say that, so she left it at that for people to basically think that it's the coalition people who wanted her to see her go to the great beyond, but it wasn't the coalition people. It was PPP folks, and she knew it. She knew it. She wasn't truthful at that Commission of Inquiry for the most part. She just wasn't truthful. And you could tell from her body language, you could tell from her facial expression, you could tell from her obvious arrogance. It was just there. She was just fed up. She knew. She knows exactly what she did. And I am saying to you guys that Claudette Singh knows what she did. Maybe for a visa. I don't know, but she knows exactly what she did. She knew also the people who financed Mercury, who put up 2 million US, a million US, whatever it is. She knows these things. And Claudette knows that, again, I'm giving her all opportunity to resign as early as possible. And again, I call on the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission to resign. People have lost confidence in her. People wouldn't trust the result of the local government elections. People wouldn't trust the results of the next elections as long as she sits there as chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission. She has got to resign, and hopefully she will resign with immediate effect. Immediate effect. And Claudette, if you're watching, you know exactly how it's going to get with regards to evidence. You turned up at the COI, people didn't believe you. And are you guys surprised that Starbuck News actually did this? Are you guys surprised that Starbuck News actually did this? Look at what it says here. Commission of Inquiry. This is how confused I was at the 2020 elections fiasco. You know what Starbuck News is hinting there. And then I didn't know which way to turn. She knew which way to turn. And she turned the way that was most beneficial. Again, I repeat, she turned to the way that was more beneficial to her. And that's exactly what happened. She swung at the last minute. That is what she did. And she threw the elections knowing that the votes were fraudulent, knowing that these people were installed. In fact, I'll tell you guys this, she was forced to do it. Her hands were grabbed. She basically, complained a lot that diplomats were squeezing her hands, other things, But if you notice, I'm holding back from telling you guys, but it doesn't mean that the evidence wouldn't be exposed. It would. But again, I'm calling for the resignation of Claudette Singh. Claudette Singh should resign. All right. Hey, I told you guys I'm just going to be on for about a half hour. I promise you guys that I will be back soon. Hopefully I'll feel a little better. As you can tell from my voice, a little under the weather. And what else? So much other things that I wanted to talk about. But, as time permits. I wonder how this what's his name? Dion Bascom, Detective Dion Bascom is doing. We haven't heard much about this case. Everything seems to be going under the rug in Guyana. Every single thing. I don't know. We've got to be consistent. What is going on with this situation? What's going on with Gita? Is she still the General Secretary of the People's National Congress Reform or not? What's happening? And then we move away from chicken. We haven't heard from this mayor. We don't know whether it's his chicken that was stolen in this ambulance. We don't know. And now drugs in another Region 6 vehicle. Lots and lots of situation. We haven't heard back from this individual. We don't know if he still carries a diplomatic passport. Lots of things. And it seems as though things are being shoved under the rug for the most part. I don't know why. But I've got to go. Rhonda Lane, how are you doing? And all you other beautiful people out there. Claudette Singh must go, indeed. Until tomorrow, same place, same time. Hopefully tomorrow. My name is Mark Benchap. God bless you, and God bless that beautiful country. Continue to have a great rest of the evening. So long.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benson, stop I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskap stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskap, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskap, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskap, straight up from the root. Mark Benskap, who tell the truth? Mark Benskap, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskap.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Killian Mall, 162 Lamaha Street in Georgetown, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths and a justice of the peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins firm. Contact them at alistaircollinsfirm.com.